What is going on, guys? Hope you're doing great out there. Oh my gosh, my bald head. What the heck is going on? I hope you guys are doing great. As always, time for the Monday live stream, as we do each and every Monday. If any new members are in the house, hello to the new members. And so basically, what we do is every Monday, we all week. So this week, obviously, we're doing it at 5 p.m. Vegas time. Next week will be at noon time, Vegas time. So basically, we alternate. 1 week's at noon, 1 week's at 5 p.m. This is obviously the 5 p.m. We just do like Q&A with me. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we can talk about with stocks, stock market in general, business, whatever you guys want to talk about, we can chat about. So hope you guys are doing great out there as always, and let's just get into it. All right. Everybody's saying hello, 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 guys. Chris says talk Tesla. I already did in that video on financial education too. Yeah, Tesla's back moving again. It's just Tesla being Tesla. Pete says, what long-term market trend do you see changing because of Rona? Well, I just think it's going to be, I think the market hasn't fully priced in the fact that company earnings are going to be down probably pretty significantly for at least 2 years, if not more than 2 years. So, yeah. Jeremy, did you lose a bet? I did not. No, I did not. Although, shoot, if you know me, I lose too many bets on sports betting. Hi, Jeremy. Tesla has been going up since this month and went up a lot today. Is this means that Tesla has left the bear market? Also, Qualcomm has been doing great this month. Any thoughts on it? Thank you. So thoughts on Qualcomm have been the same, still the same. Tesla, I still love that one long term, as you know. In terms of leaving the bear market and things like that, it's hard to predict. All I can say when it comes to Tesla is there's a lot of demand for the shares. There just is. There's just a lot of folks that have underappreciated the story, and I think there's just a lot of Wall Street has woken up to the fact, and a lot of big money has woken up to the fact that Tesla has a legit possibility of being one of the bigger companies in the world over the next 5-10 years. And I think it just kind of Wall Street for the most part just had an epiphany. All of a sudden they finally realized, oh man, Tesla's going to be like really important company. Like we should probably be involved with that. This might be the next Amazon or a half of Amazon. Heck, even if Tesla's a half of Amazon, you still make a lot of money over the long term, right? So, but short term. Brian says, hey, Jeremy. Ooh, smells good in here. Brian says, hey, Jeremy, not understanding the risk in oil. Seems like a lot of upside potential in oil stock like USO. Well, USO is not really an oil stock. Once everything back up, I think oil is priced too low. I don't know what oil price actually is today. If you guys don't mind letting me know. When it was at like 20, was that a week ago or 2 weeks ago? I was actually really interested in buying a 3x leverage ETF. I know a lot of people thought I was joking. I was actually serious about that. I ended up not doing it. I would have made a lot of money, but it's unsustainably low right now. Oil's got to at least get back to $40 at some point, if not higher than that. Zan says, what is your long-term price target for Planet 13? Do you think that they will get through the CV situation? I think they will get through the CV situation, although it's not. The effects are devastating because keep in mind, Planet 13 gets most of their business from tourists coming to Vegas. And so the fact that all of a sudden you throw, the fact that the whole strip is shut down, it's a disastrous situation for Planet 13 in the short term. I think they can get through it. I'm hoping. I think some of the government stuff might help. But yeah, it's ugly. I can't really put more money in Planet 13 right now. I would love to put more money in Planet 13. I just can't because there is that risk. What if they don't get through it? Shares will see zero. It's a smaller company. It is risky. So I would love to buy some more Planet 13. I just can't. I can't risk more money in that stock because it's real uncertainty right now. So Pedro says, Jeremy, my man. Hello, Pedro. Zach says, hey. Hiran says, what is your opinion on Bitcoin and Ether and on cryptocurrencies in general? Are you investing in them? No, I'm not investing in any of them at the moment. I thought about Ethereum, but I still haven't yet. I might buy Ethereum at some point, but I don't really have super in-depth thoughts about those, to be completely honest. I really don't. Chris says, man had to make over after his carnival position. Yeah. Your thoughts about Tom Brady and the Bucks? That's crazy, man. You see if Brady can actually be one good athlete past 40 and changing teams. It's never been done before. Also, would you consider going into real estate as of right now? No, I think we can see how the economy shakes out before you go in. I think there's a lot of risk uncertainty with pricing around real estate that we got to see how this all works out. How many people get unemployed and stay unemployed? And then how many people can't make mortgage payments 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now? I think if you think about real estate, I think you just gotta wait right now. I think you just gotta kind of stay on the sideline and see how, because the prices of real estate aren't gonna magically go up, a ton. I can guarantee that over the short term. If anything, they're gonna drop a ton. So risk reward, it's very risky if you're buying real estate right now, unless you have to. Bo says, what's going on, man? Just busy Monday as always. Thoughts on Nikola Motor Company for electric trucks and semis? I don't know too much about them, to be honest. I know there's a lot of upstarts in the space, and it's a tough business, man. It's a tough business. I don't have any thoughts there. Victor says cut looks clean. Thanks. I don't like it, but thank you. Yusef says, I know that you don't like to invest in REIT stocks. Can you tell us why? REIT stocks usually have there's a lot of reasons probably. I mean, REIT stocks, generally speaking, have very limited growth, right? And then they use all their pretty much cash flow for the most part to pay out in the form of dividends. And usually REITs are very, very debt heavy. You add up all those things and it's just not it's just not an attractive place for me to put my money personally. I just feel like there's way better places I can put my money than something that has very low growth, has a ton of debt, and has trouble building up their business because they're paying out all their money to shareholders all the time, So that's why I don't like REITs. Bulls one says, Jeremy, do I still believe, I guess it says, do you still believe, I'm guessing, a pullback should be in order? I sure hope so, man. I sure hope so. I think it's ridiculous, I was just looking, NASDAQ's down 8.7% year to date. It's a joke. That's a joke. I mean, when you think about how much real uncertainty we have around unemployment numbers, GDP, company earnings, when they'll be back to normal, will it take a year, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years? We got real crap we're going to have to deal with. It's going to take years. For the NASDAQ to be down 8.7%, it's just silly. It's absolutely silly. It should be down, massively more than that. I don't think the market's, figured out things yet. I think it will. Pedro says, haircut doesn't look that bad. Did your wife like it? I don't know. She says it looks fine, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. That's what matters. Pete says, thoughts on Airbnb if they go public? Do you like that business model? It seems like they could do hotels like Uber did to taxis. So Airbnb, I'm kind of conflicted on. One part of me definitely does. It's an asset-light business model, which is beautiful, kind of like an Uber. They don't own the places or anything like that. They just, are kind of the middleman there, and they get their fees, and that's kind of cool. But in terms of, can they take hotels down or something like that? I think that's a little hard to believe, because hotels, definitely have an appeal to certain folks, including myself. I'm not really an Airbnb type customer. I like to stay at more hotels or resorts or things like that if I travel. But there's no doubt that it's a great, I don't want to call it a great business model, but it's certainly a very good business model, and it's certainly very successful. But we'll find out more as that company gets closer to go public, whenever that time comes. So. Yeah. Unex says, how's everything, Jeremy? Very good. I hope things are with you as well. Alex says, is there ever a time in the near future you could see yourself buying puts on the market? Not really. And I've given a lot of thought to this. And although I don't like the market right now, and although I don't like, the way the market's treating things, it's hard for me to buy puts because a lot of these stocks are still down a lot. And, it's tough for me to buy puts. It really is. Especially in a short order, because let's say I buy 1 month out puts, and let's say the market doesn't really hardly go down. That's tough. And the premium you got to pay right now to buy puts, very high, because VIX has been crazy. And so, it's just not really an ideal situation. yeah, I can't buy puts. Although it's tempting. It really is. And I've never really been that one, one to short the market or buy puts. I've never shorted the market ever in my life. But it is a little tempting, I will be honest. Arthur says, sup, Baldy Jeremy? Hello. Aaron says, with Saudi Arabia investing in CCL, do you think its chance of going bankrupt is very low and it's safer to buy CCL? I'm about the same as I was. It's a 20 to 30% probability CCL goes bankrupt. I'm going to make it through, obviously, with my prediction there. I mean, that's a 70, 80% probability they're going to make it through this. But I think it's still a possibility. I think it's something that should be considered. And one of the reasons why you have to limit a position, how big you make a CCL position, you really kind of have it because, the game's changed for them. It just has. I mean, 3 months, who could have thought, it'd go from a super profitable business model that's great to a company that, nearly faces bankruptcy and had to raise money at, 11.5%. What a joke. But, it is what it is. So, Slabs Inc. says, thoughts on the economy opening in the next month, and we'll likely see a spike in cases again that exceed 18 months. Yeah, that's another big worry for the market, and I haven't talked about that. I'm really focused on kind of drilling into people's heads right now, like unemployment rates. How long do those take to come down? GDP declines. How long does that take to get back to where we were? Company earnings, the fact that that's probably going to be down for 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years to get back to where companies were. And it's very hard to value companies right now because you don't know, and those are all things you got to factor in. And that, what you just brought up, there's another thing. What if the economy does open back up and in the fall time, Roni takes back off again, and we're in a situation where there's still no vax? Do we have to shut the whole economy down again? Or is that a situation where we still keep businesses open, but no one goes out and spends any money because they're scared of the Rona? Like I said, we got real crap we're working through right now. We've got real crap we're working through. And that's just another one of those this is a real, legit possibility. This isn't just like foo-foo talk. This is real. And it's a possibility. So Zach says, hey, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on Amazon? I mean, I love Amazon's business model. I have for the last 10 years. Never been able to buy the stock because I don't like the valuation. So, it is what it is. But, business model is great. I just don't like the valuation. That's why I can't buy it. Arthur says, new member. Hello. Nice hair, dude. Thank you. I don't like it. Simon says, hi, Jeremy. I actually have 30% cash and have a good revenue, so I can add maybe 5% cash in new money every month. In that scenario, would you recommend wait and keep cash? Simon, unless you have an amazing stock that you think has such huge upside potential over the next 5 years that you have to buy it, probably keep cash. Yeah. And that's another thing. A lot of you guys, especially in the group, are people that aren't really being hurt necessarily by this whole Rona situation. A lot of you guys work for really good companies. You have good businesses or you have stable jobs, and you haven't really seen your income or anything dip. Got money on the sideline, so you're trying to figure that whole game out. But a lot of times it just makes sense to wait for right now. There's definitely a segment of the population, myself, I haven't really been hurt financially. I mean, you say maybe the numbers would be bigger if, the market was good right now or something like that. But at the end of the day, I work from home. I do YouTube videos, and, the videos are getting more views than ever. And for a lot of you guys, you're not being hurt financially by this. But we got to keep in mind a lot of people are. To be very clear about that. A lot of people have lost their job. You work as a waiter or a waitress at the local restaurant. Your revenue's zero right now. You're unemployed, right? You work at Costco, you're doing just fine. You're probably getting more hours than ever. You probably even got a pay raise, right? And so there's winners and losers in this economy, but I can tell you there's a lot more losers in this economy right now than there are winners. And that will go for probably the next year or two. So, but yeah, unless it's an unbelievable opportunity that you believe that you're investing in a company that has a legit possibility to 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x their business over the next 5 years, unless you're buying that stock, don't buy it. Not right now. Let's see how things kind of play out. Disney going through 30 million a day, Pete says. Oh. Pedro says, I'd love to hear you talking more about calls and puts during this market volatility. Yeah, I'm just not that interested either, to be honest, Pedro. And the main reason is the premiums you have to pay are sky high right now. They really, really are. And I'm not interested in buying calls and puts and taking that type of risk of losing 100% of my money when I got to pay sky high premiums. And so that's why I'm not talking a lot about calls and puts right now, because a lot of these are not ideal situations, to be completely honest. So Alpha Trader says, hello. Do you think the March, April of next year we'll see a bigger dip or slide in the market due to repercussions of COVID and economies being shut down? I think there's a legit possibility that, we're going to see, an extended period of weakness in the economy globally. And I think, therefore, most companies' earnings are going to be hit significantly for years. And it could possibly take 3, 4, 5 years before some of these companies get back to the EPS they were doing. So, there are certain opportunities in the market, though, that are, I don't want to call them easy money, but they're going to grow regardless of what happens out there. Yusef says, hey, Jeremy, name 3 best growth stocks and 3 best dividend stocks in your opinion. Dividend stocks, I don't even want to go there right now because, so many stocks are cutting their dividends right now. I don't even want to go there. But in terms of 3 best growth stocks, I love Facebook, I love Tesla, I love Uber. But Tesla and Facebook being the main ones. Those kind of the 3 come to my head whenever I think about like a multi-year growth opportunity. Pal says, hey, Jeremy just joined. Hello, happy to have you in the group with us. Do you watch the show Billions? I don't. I know a lot of people always tell me, oh, you should watch that, but no, I don't. Christopher says, what's up? What's up? Kevin, with so much volatility in the market, there's a lot of temptation to do more swing trades. What are your thoughts? No, I know it's tempting when you see the market going crazy ups, crazy downs, and you're like, oh man, I bet there's a friend of mine said that, like a couple weeks ago to me. He's like, oh, traders are making a killing in this market right now. Bullshit. Some traders could be making money, but I can guarantee you most traders are probably losing their ass. It all depends on what side of the market you're on, right? A lot of people 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we're talking about the market was going to get way, way worse and it was going to keep going down, blah, blah, blah. A lot of trader talk, a lot of people buying puts. Where's the market gone? Straight up in a straight line for the past, 3, 4 weeks now. And just has devastated everybody. If you happen to be one of those that was like, oh, the market's about to go up. Great, you played it right. But I can tell you that's not most people. And so, I know it's tempting when you see those type of swings, but believe me, I can almost guarantee there's a lot more losers than there are winners. That's just always the market. And the consensus has been the last few market's going to go lower, and it needs to go lower. And what's happened? It's gone up and up and up. I don't agree with it. I think the market should be going lower. If anything, I think it's ridiculous where we're trading at right now. But a lot of people place bets on a certain way, and they've just been devastated. It's just not worth doing, in my opinion. Vishal says, Jeremy, I'm up 70% on my Fizz $40 straight calls. Would you cash? I got Fizz calls, and I'm still holding those. I don't know how long I'll hold them for, but last week I was up already like 83% on them or some insane number. And it is tempting to sell them, especially when you've been holding it for like a week or two and you're up 83%. Like, it's like, maybe I'll take a profit here. But yeah, I'm still interested in selling. I think regardless of what happens economically, I think that one has some nice opportunity over time. So I'm not selling it right as of right now. But you never know. My mind could change. If the stock goes up a bunch, maybe I'll sell. But that's kind of my opinion there. Fox Fine Art says, what's up, Jeremy? Looking good. Thank you. Hope you're doing great. Name Damien, but you can call me D-Wiz. Cool. D-Wiz. Arthur says, how is your house in Arizona? It is in the process of being built right now. I'm not sure if they got the foundation going in or what, but it is, the process is going. Let's put it that way. Are you planning to add more shares of CCL, Foot Locker, or Wynn anytime soon? No, no, and no. If they drop a bunch, if Foot Locker drops a bunch more, I'll buy some. If Wynn drops a bunch more, I'll buy some. But no, not right now. Al says, hey, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on theater stocks because they got hammered? No, not even going there. Those theater stocks already had a lot of issues. Financially, I looked into AMC, and it was like, and this was a year or two ago, probably shoot, yeah, at least a year or two ago. And they've had a lot of issues already. Now with this situation, it's what I call disaster stocks. You just kind of got to be like, it's super high risk. Big Mustang 73 says, what up? Electric auto market is looking super bullish. Is NIO worth a second look? NIO's super speculative, I'm gonna be honest. I've kept track of the company for the last, 2 years or whatever it's been since they went public, and it's been interesting to watch, kind of how bad things have gone. But yeah, I mean, there's too many uncertainties there with NIO. Tesla's been able to survive and get to the stage that it's at because of some amazing engineers, because Elon Musk has unlimited funding capabilities. And I'm not sure NIO has either of those. I'm not sure NIO has the engineering talent and the core, just knock it out of the ballpark type team there. And they don't have Elon Musk, let's be honest. They don't have a guy that has unlimited fundraising capabilities. And those are the only two reasons Tesla's gotten to this stage. And so NIO is a very scary company. Doesn't mean they can't make it. Maybe they can, but I think it's very high risk. Chris says, cruise lines. I don't know what that means. Mr. Bridgewater says, hey, Jeremy, did you take a look at QRS? I've done some research and analyzed its financial statements. Strong. QRS, are those the ones that buys in Burger King and stuff? If it is, I did do some there, and at the time I just didn't like the valuation when I looked into it a while back. Let me know if that's the right company. I think it was QRS that owned Burger King, Popeyes, and stuff. But let me know. Brian says, do you like LVS long term? LVS would be Las Vegas Sands, I believe, especially with huge convention center expansion. LVS is, yeah, I got to be honest, I do like LVS. Like, if you're going to tell me I got to buy a player outside of Wynn, yeah, probably LVS. I do like LVS. I don't love it. I'm not buying it today, I can tell you that. But if the price is right, I'll buy it. Kevin says, why do you prefer Wynn over MGM? Balance sheet seems very similar. I like Wynn's overall customer service experience. I like Wynn's play at the high end of markets, and I like the fact that Wynn's more exposed to Macau, which Macau's really the market you really want to have the majority of your properties in, just because you're going to do way more business. Like, the amount of gaming activity that goes on in Macau, it's like 4x, 5x sometimes. I've seen as much as 7x Vegas. Like, Vegas, it looks great and it's busy, and you go down the strip and there's 1 million people and the restaurants are packed, cool. But who's spending the money at the tables? That's where the real money's at, and that happens in Macau. Money in Vegas is little money. Antonio says, Aurora Cannabis is doing a 12-to-1 reverse split. Oh, that sounds like some Aurora Cannabis type stuff right there. It's below $1. Have you heard of any stock consolidating like this? Yeah. Companies do it all the time, especially when they get on that $1 mark, so they can stay on the market, because sometimes they'll delist a company if their stock's under $1. I think especially if it's a New York Stock Exchange stock and it's under $1 for too long, they'll do a reverse split like that, get the stock price up, and go about things that way. But yeah, high risk in Aurora Cannabis. Fox Fine Art says, picked up some Toll today. Are you still interested? Yeah, I'm still interested in Toll, but not right here. Not right now, at least. But I am still interested in Toll. I love Toll. I need it lower, though. Fatty says, is USO a buy? Maybe call options? I think it's very interesting. I'm not going to call it a buy necessarily, but I think it's, I think oil's a little unsustainably low. Like I said, I don't know where exactly oil is at today, but, when oil's at $20, I think that's just a little too low, So, can you explain Carvana? Holy smokes, man. You guys put so many questions up that it's like, I'm like so far behind in the chat. It's ridiculous. Holy smokes. Can you explain why Carvana closed at 23% plus today? I have no clue. I have no clue why I did that. I don't track Carvana like that, but that sounds a little silly. Cody, think Qualcomm price could get hammered soon? That I don't know. It depends on where the market goes. I hope so. I really do. I would love to pick up some Qualcomm in the 50s. Whoo-wee. That's what I call easy money, but we'll see how that works out. Arthur says, how is Uber Eats? So it came in two different deliveries. It did come in 2 different deliveries, but it was all good. Gabriel says, Tesla only going up from now on, you think? Oh, I wish. James says, of the apps you recommend, what do you use? Stock Trader? I don't even know a one name Stock Trader. I don't know about that. Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance has been using for a million years, so I still kind of use that one. Do you think? Do you link your brokerage accounts? And if you do, no, I don't. I don't link any of that. I have friends that do stuff like that, but I don't do that. Mohammed says Plant 13 earnings. What are you thinking? I'm not really thinking anything. I think, obviously the guidance is going to be horrible because the strip shut down. That's the majority of their business comes from people going to the strip, then going over to Planet 13 to buy product. And it's like, it's just going to be bad. There's no other way around it. Slav says, I know you said this group would be capped at 500. I definitely never said that. I thought about it, but I definitely never said we're going to cap it at 500. I thought about it, but no, because you always got turnover, right? You always have people that like drop out of the group and things like that, and then we just got a lot of people that want to get in. So Samuel says, are you going to do a house tour of your AZ's house when it's done? Maybe. Might. Dino says, financial education 2. How was that Uber order? I just answered that. Johnson says, top 3 stocks you want to go down? Oh, gosh. Well, I want them all to go down. But, I mean, when would be nice to get a lot lower? Foot Locker, Revolve. Those would come to my head. Qualcomm would be nice to get a lot lower. Google and Facebook, all those would be really nice. Chris says, talk about Norwegian and Royal Caribbean if you can. I mean, there are the cruise players. I don't know what you want me to say about them. They are what they are. They're okay. I've always liked Carnival the best, and it's proven to be the best of the bad bunch. Let's put it that way. The performance is slightly better than those other companies, but it's just a mess. But we'll see. I'll probably all make it through. Pedro says, Jeremy, I know that Amazon has a high valuation, but considering how much they're benefiting from this stay-at-home economy, would you still not consider it? Yeah, I mean, the valuation is just too high. This was too high, man, for me. But it's always been that way with Amazon. That's just the way Amazon trades. I've looked into Amazon for probably 10 years now. And always love the business model, always hate the valuation. And, who knows, it'll probably be $10,000 a share in a few years. And then I'll be like, oh, I should have bought, and valuation will still be too high. Arthur says, do you think Tesla or Uber? I love them both. I like Tesla more, though. Ryan says, hey, Jeremy, hope everything's okay. Hope everything's good with you. Everything's good with me. I'm low on cash and 85% of my I'm low on cash and 85% up on my NVIDIA position. Like the company long term, but trailing P of 58, forward of 28. Tempted to sell to build cash. What do you think? I mean, I don't tell people to buy or sell stocks. You got to make that your own decision whether you want to buy or sell NVIDIA stock at the end of the day. NVIDIA is a great company. I don't personally own the stock, but it's a great company. And they got a lot of long-term trends they're doing. So, the question is, why do you want to build cash that bad? Why can't you build cash other ways? I think those are some questions you got to ask yourself. Can you build cash other ways? Or is selling NVIDIA really the only way you can possibly build cash in this situation? So, I mean, if you believe a lot in NVIDIA, like do you really like the And I know some people are really passionate about NVIDIA stock and even AMD to a certain extent, and it's like, it's kind of like me with Tesla stock. It's like, do I really want to? I own 150 shares in the public account. We're up 170%. If I sold that position, I'd raise a ton of cash. And then if the market dipped huge, I could obviously deploy that cash out. But gosh, I really don't want to sell Tesla stock. It's a stock that I think could be $2,000-$3,000 in 5 years. And it's at 600 something a day. So, you got to, yeah. Omar says, economy looks like it's going to be tough for a few years. Do you think it's good to switch a bit and buy more defensive stocks, reduce some more risky stocks like gaming, Uber, retail? So, when it comes to defensive stocks and playing defensive stocks. Keep in mind, a lot of these stocks have gone up a lot. A lot of them have priced in a lot of good news. Look at Costco stock, look at Kroger stock, look at Walmart stock, look at Coca-Cola, Pepsi. A lot of these stocks are trading at, Procter & Gamble, a lot of these stocks are trading at pretty dang high valuations. A lot of their stocks have already priced in a lot of the good news and the good demand. I think that. So if you're getting in those plays, you're kind of late to the game. And it's never good to be late in the game in the stock market. So it's just something to keep in mind there. And in terms of being in riskier positions, or companies that are a little more dependent, let's say, on a good economy, I think you just have to limit risk. I think you just have to build those positions, don't do it only to a certain extent. And you can see even when, with my accounts, usually I limit how big I'll make a position. Even if it goes down to a certain percent, if I've already built my position, I already built my position. And it's just, it is what it is. Revolve is not the type of stock I can have $100,000 in. Foot Locker is not the type of stock I can have $100,000 in. I have to limit the sizing of those positions. And so it's just something to kind of think about there. Limiting the size is very important. Antonio says, why won't Amazon or Google split their stock anymore? Do companies not do this anymore? Yeah, a lot of companies aren't that interested in splitting their stocks. I can't tell you why that is. I honestly don't know. And nowadays with a lot of these apps and things, you can buy fractional shares. So it's not even like that big of a deal. Like if you want to buy that stock, you could buy it fractionally. But yeah, I don't know why a lot of companies don't do it anymore. I think they think it's cool to have a super high stock price, right? I think Berkshire Hathaway's were the kings of that. They started that. Buffett, right? $200,000, $300,000 stock. I remember when it first went over 100,000, it was like, whoa. And so I just think I think they kind of made it cool to have this super high stock price, and now all these companies are following suit. And Tesla, they might honestly never, split their stock. We'll see. It's at 600 plus now. They haven't split, and I don't know if Elon Musk would want to split it. So I think it's just companies think it's cool now. Let's take a couple last questions here. We're already over the 30-minute timer. We got so many questions. I'll get to a few more here. Brian says, what oil stock would you recommend? None. Lauren says, is there anything specific you've learned or observed related to dividend investing ever since you began your focus on dividend portfolio? Yeah, I've been learning a lot about dividend investing, but the problem is with this whole situation with the Rona, it's like a once in 100-year event. So you can't put too much weight into this, right? We've learned from this situation that, most companies are going to have to cut their dividends. Most of these dividend stocks are going to have to cut, but it's such a freakish, weird situation that it's like, how much weight do you put in something like that? I think that's important. Like, how much weight should we be putting in the fact that we're in a once in 100-year event right now? We might see something like this again in our lifetimes. Oh, we might not. And we probably won't. And so when you take that into account, it's like, how much weight should you put in the fact that most companies could cut their dividends? So, yeah, it's a tough scenario, to be honest. But yeah, I'm still learning through it. I'm still kind of working through, and I'll get where I need to get when it comes to dividend investing. It's just going to continue to take work and time and patience. Bull says, how was the Nerf war yesterday? It was epic. It was absolutely epic, the Nerf war. I'm looking into Hasbro stock, man. I might have to buy some Hasbro stock. The CEO is very confident. When he was on CNBC, was that 3-4 weeks ago now? Said a lot of good things about his business. He said it's actually pretty strong. He said they're keeping employees. And yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm actually really interested in Hasbro right now. And when I looked in their balance sheet, I was like, might have something here. I'm gonna do some more research work in Hasbro. The other stock I'm doing research in right now is Yelp. So Yelp, I saw some exciting stuff when it came to their service. I was looking to get the Model X wrapped. And I went ahead and I went actually through Yelp, and I messaged a business, and there was a tab that popped up and it said, do you want to message other businesses in this industry? And if those companies have to pay like a sponsorship dollar to get that bid as well. So I could have hit yes, I hit no because I just wanted this one specific company to give a bid on it. But if I wanted a bunch of bids from a bunch of different companies, they would all had to pay for my information, give this guy a bid. I think that is brilliant. I think from every single standpoint around, it benefits everybody. And I love business models that can benefit everybody. Benefits the customer because the customer is going to get more bids, right? It benefits, obviously, the companies that are paying for sponsorship dollars because now they get an opportunity to put a bid out there that they might not have had before. And so I love any of those. I think I got to sneeze. I love any of those type of situations that, you know, everybody benefits from. So I got to do more work on Yelp, and for sure more work on Hasbro. Do more work on both those. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. As always, if you know, you ask me any super important question, just hit me a DM in the Discord chat and I'll get back to you. Hope you guys are doing great, and stay patient out there in this market. And you know, nothing's wrong with some sideline money right now. Peace.